Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be doing a best teams of the month, top 5 best teams of the month. Now, I haven't done this in a while. I was like, what the hell? I actually checked my channel, I'll show you right here, and I missed February. I don't know how I missed February, so we're even 1 month down in the whole year, and right now we're halfway through April. How did I miss March too? So you know, because Ultra Goku Black Rosé's value is still very high, I feel like I'm going to do March now since we're midway through, and we're expecting an ultra by the end of the month or maybe early next month. So with that being the case, I feel like the meta will very much shift by the end of April anyways, so I still feel like it's a good time to do this. And considering a lot of people have been asking me to do a best teams video, I thought I might as well just do the end of March as well. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. Just want to point out that this video is still going to be quite relevant, but I'm not really going to include Goku and Vegeta, the Boo Bros unit, simply because I feel like their value is high, right? But their placement on teams is a bit awkward, and people are just forcing them on any teams that they feel necessary. But when the Boo Saga campaign, the Margin Boo Saga campaign is really complete, that's where we will see solidified teams, which would be at the end of April. So we're gonna do another one then. So yeah, let's get into the top 5 teams. This would be mainly for March, but it works for this month too. Alright, so the first team I've actually got here is GT. Now, I usually wouldn't include GT straight away like as number 1 mention, and it doesn't mean that the number 1 team is the best team. For the guys that skip here and don't watch the intro, the number 1 team does not necessarily mean it's the best team, it's just the order I want to do it in. But I never would really mention GT first, but the only reason I'm doing it is because I feel like this team is just so solid, it just stays attached to the meta. If you run this team here, this specific team, 17 on the leader slot, you've got Tag Force and 4Q, you're guaranteed to have good fights, and your team does not die. They heal immensely and they're able to do a lot of output. It's a very solid team that's reliable. A lot of people use this team. You won't see it a lot, which is actually contradictory, but a lot of people have this solid setup, and when you do run into a GT team, for me especially, is one of the hardest teams to beat. And that might be surprising to you guys. Let me know which team is hard for you to beat, but GT is definitely one that I find I struggle when I'm fighting them, because 4Q gets 2 saves. Their defenses are pretty high. If you kill one person, 4Q becomes a demon. He becomes a bigger demon if he's last stand, and he can't be cover changed when he comes in. Tag Force, they got the explosive green, they reverse element, can't be cover changed on Vegeta. It's a lot of good things, assuming there's 3 people alive on the opposite side. And the sub count reduction, 17 locks in, nullifies endurance. There's a lot of good things on GT, man. This guy here is a HP buffer, right? He's just the HP buffer for GT, if you're wondering why he's there. This guy here, he's a Zenkai buffer. Tag Force, very essential in my opinion. 4Q is obviously his own man, and 17 on the leader slot, so the Z abilities go around better, considering everybody else on the team is a Saiyan. They're also a Sun family member, they're also a Goku. It just works way better that way to have 17 on the leader slot, because then you'd actually be able to feed them Z abilities. For example, this bit where it says tag GT and Saiyan blast attack, I believe it's this guy actually. If I show you his Z ability, some of them have joint ones, so both tag GT and Saiyan blast attack during battle, you get extra little buff if you're both of those tags, but 17 wouldn't get that because he's not a Saiyan. So of course, put him on the leader slot, you'd get that there. It just makes the team work better. So yeah, there's no actual other variation of GT I would actually suggest, and unfortunately GT is one of those teams where if you don't have exactly every unit, you're not going to be able to thrive. I guess if you really wanted to, some people like to consider Super Baby 2, but I just wouldn't. He had like the potential when he got Zenkai, but I guess it never was just flourished. It never really flourished. Pan as well is one you could consider, and of course you could always have the leader slot option as normal for any other OP unit that you have. Ultra Rosé, Ultra Gogeta Blue, Hit, the Boo Bros, whatever you want to use, you can lead a slot and then it would work. So yeah, that's number 1. We've got GT. Number 2 on this list, we've got Hybrid Saiyans. Now I feel like this is just a very solid like team, similar to GT. If you don't have all the pieces, it's not gonna matter. It's just a team that you can rely on the back end. It's not a team that I would say is actually a top 2 team, me personally, anymore, but you can still get value out of the team because it's just so consistent. And we saw, especially in the meta where Beast Gohan released into Dragon Ball Legends, it was just a team that you could not avoid, and if you wasn't running this team, you wasn't getting any successful PvP games. Now let me explain about the team for guys that do want to run this team if you have the pieces. Pan is the main support, but we also have Future Gohan, who has infinity lifespan in Dragon Ball Legends apparently. He's just unable to phase out of the meta, and even if he does, people just bring him back in by force. Future Gohan, he has the endurance layer. When he cover changes, if he cover changes against a blast, he's going to destroy your cards. And I think if he cover changes period, he's going to destroy your cards. So on the cover change with a blast, he actually has like a little force field or whatever, and he's actually able to just deflect everything in a sense. But Future Gohan is very useful for breaking combos, regardless of if he's stopping you because you're using a blast card or he's actually destroying your cards. He also just goes type neutral if you kill one person on the team, but he's not even the main force. Obviously the main force is Beast Gohan now. Back in the day, people wouldn't double Zenkai buff him, but the only reason I'm double Zenkai buffing him is because I want to give him that feeling as if he is on the boost. And double Zenkai buffing him, in my experience, has given me that experience when I use Beast Gohan on this team. Pan's giving a lot of buffs, building up insane amount of buffs for the whole team. Future Gohan, when every combo ends, he actually gets buffs for the team, and then Beast Gohan is the main attacking force. His combos are almost infinite. If you get hit with a blue card, it's insane, obviously depending on the equipment you have, but the double Zenkai buffs are helping a lot. And this Trunks here has a really good Z ability, right? Like, it's just an insane Z ability. Like everybody really just loves it on the Hybrid Saiyan team. You can see here 35% to episode slugs from the movies, all tag Hybrid Saiyan base strike attack and defense, and 18% to characters that are both sagas from the movies and tag Hybrid Saiyan base strike attack during battle. Now, if you're thinking about substitutes for this team, I'd really want you to know there really isn't any. But if you wanted to sub out Future Gohan, I would recommend this guy here. You could run him on. And if you wanted to have a green to deal with any blues, I'd recommend this Trunks, but it also depends on your star level heavily. Your star level is going to have a big impact on how these two units that I just mentioned work well. But I feel like Pan and Beast Gohan are a necessity on this team. Future Gohan, not so much, but he is a very still vital part of the team. But out of those two, there's nobody else you could pretty much lead a slot. But I will also say that it could be beneficial to just lead a slot anybody like you could have. And I will also mention that this team is actually movies at the same time, so you might want to consider some movies units. So if I actually change the setting here from Hybrid Saiyan, then go to episode and select sagas from movies, I've seen some people like to run Cooler just simply because he's very good against Super Saiyans, but there's not really many Super Saiyans in the meta at the moment. But in that scenario, he does actually land a strike out, he does lock you in, and he could get a good outcome out of it. But of course, UGB is probably the best purple in the game, so you might just want to go for him. That's pretty much it for Hybrid Saiyans, but it is movies at the same time, so it's like a slash, which actually takes up 2 spaces, but I'm just going to count it as 1. So yeah, that's Hybrid Saiyans, but it could also be sagas from the movies. Okay, so this next one I'd probably say is the best team in the game that you could build. Definitely Future, but it also comes along as God Key. It's both the same thing. The only difference is that UGB doesn't actually attribute to Future Z abilities, which is why he's on the leader slot. Neither does he attribute to really, if we look at his Z abilities and we'll break it down. So you can see Gogeta here, he doesn't buff God Key, but Ultra Goku Black, he doesn't buff God Key either, but they are God Key tags. So I feel like the main thing that synergizes everybody is Future, but UGB on the leader slot actually merges with a lot of the people on the bench, such as Zamasu, who he's being Zenkai buffed by, Vegito Blue with his Z ability, and then Zamasu here, who actually has a nice Z ability as well. Mai is the Future HP buffer, which is one of the highest HP buffing Z abilities in the game, if not the highest. She's got here a 25% HP buff, which is insane, by the way. So UGB getting that is very effective, because we already know UGB's counter is very useful, with the fact that the way it works, he has to take damage, his gauge fills, he heals off that, and having a lot of health means that he could also start with more health to heal back as well. So it's very effective overall. Ultra Goku Black being the main unit, he's boosted, he's dope, everybody loves him. Definitely consider having Ultra Goku Black on your team. If you don't have him, bro, you're missing out, because honestly, he is a menace. These two here, top 2 in the game in my opinion by far, so having them is a necessity. Your third unit, mine, I just have Zamasu, but I feel like you could easily have someone else like Future Gohan if you wanted to. I feel like Zamasu is way more reliable in the sense that he breaks combos a lot better. He's also a lot tankier, but again, it's also a preference thing. But I'd definitely go Zamasu, so it'd be a green, purple, blue build with UGB, Ultra Goku Black, and Zamasu to solidify the team. If you're wondering about substitutes, I already mentioned Future Gohan. Some people like running this purple Goku Black, so you'd be running a double purple, but I wouldn't really prefer that. That's just me. Again, it's each to their own, but I've seen some people put him on the team, and I think that would be everybody to actually just complete the team formation. I wouldn't really consider anybody else as a big factor. Trunks and Vegeta are here. They are here. And I just wouldn't use them, because it kind of throws off the fact that the team's mainly strike based. Besides from that, they do work. you kind of just have to play. You don't even have to play with things. I was gonna think about my Zinobi, but their future as well, so it works out. Future Key, that's the third team. It's also 2 teams, so it's kind of like we've already hit 5, but hey, I'm just gonna count as 1 because it's mainly future. But actually, yeah, I'm gonna count as 1 because it's mainly future, so yeah, that's Future Key right there. Okay, so this is going to be the last team of the video. I would usually use 5 teams, but because a lot of these teams were half splits because of the leader slot, I'm not gonna bother. We've literally had Future Key, which is Future and God Key. We've also had GT, Hybrid Saiyans, which is also movies, so that already makes 5, but this team is also a split as well. It's Future, but also a mix with Powerful Opponent because you literally just have Ultra Hit on the leader slot, but it also affects how you'd have your bench units, which you can see at the bottom with Red ROSÉ, who actually Zenkai buffs Powerful Opponent, but his Z ability is specifically for, I believe, Future and God Key. Let me just fact check that. No cap. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then his Z ability here, Future and God Key, you can see right there. The Zenkai buff though for Powerful Opponent, which is actually very effective to actually Zenkai buff Hit, who is actually a top 3 unit in the game, in my opinion, especially. He's OP if he lands his time skip. He's gonna guarantee kill you pretty much. Ultra ROSÉ, top 2 unit in the game, absolute legend. Everybody loves him for some reason. It's not for some reason, he's the GOAT. And then the rest is just Future pretty much. So it's the Future core again. I just took off ROSÉ. It's a Future core again, but the Zenkai buffs and the benches are a bit different. You have a lot more options as well. I should have actually mentioned some for the Future Key as well, because you could actually change up some of the bench. So if I actually look for the Future tag, hopefully my eyes work. There we go, we got Future there. You can see we could actually Zenkai buff Ultra ROSÉ with this guy as well, which is not the most convenient thing because he buffs blast attack, but it's a Zenkai buff option that you have, especially because the rest of the team is pretty much just Future. Even for Zamasu, you could go for the blue Goku, the Goku blue, that's a Zenkai because he buffs God Key. Zamasu would get that, but again, it would really throws off the synergy, and the Z ability is a lot worse, so I wouldn't opt in for that. This team is pretty much solid how I have it right now. Even if you wanted to for on the other team, I think I had like Zamasu Zenkai buffing him. You could obviously swap that out for a Zenkai buff for Ultra ROSÉ. It's all pretty much down to preference, but I'm just showing you what I've got here. It's the last team of the video, man. We got here Future, Powerful Opponent. Let me know you guys' list as well. Alright, so at the time I'm recording this, it's actually raining, but I'm getting the conclusion now, so I'm trying to get it quick. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. Hopefully it was useful. Let me know what characters you'd have in your top 5. I usually do a top 5 teams of the month. We're going to do another one at the end of April, but of course I forgot to do March, and I somehow slipped up on February as well. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I don't know how it happened, but it did, man. Press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. It's the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. But I'm going to leave the video like that, man. I appreciate you guys for watching. The love and support means the world to me. My name's Zakashi, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. And I won't forget the next month. I won't.